Greetings, 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 kings, queens, gods, and goddesses. I am Sherry Unk here to share with you some of the highlights, insights, and deep dive into Gateway O of Sacred Woman. As you all know, I am going through the gateways, and every day I will be popping on with a new gateway to go over. Today, we are going over Gateway O, which is Sacred Womb. And this particular gateway talks about the womb space, your creation space from which all of life flows. In Sacred Woman, we give honor to the womb and the guardians of the womb, which are the women, the women. All right, we are the women, we are the healers. Now, to give you a piece of information about how to properly and effectively use your Sacred Woman book, I'm going to break down just a few things, okay? This book is more like a textbook, more like a Bible. When you try to read it from beginning to end, all the way through, it kind of becomes overwhelming, and you're trying to figure out how does it all make sense. Each area or each gateway or each portal that you enter will give you insights in a particular area of life. This these Each area is focused on a particular um, area of self-awareness where you can become self-aware of what you're doing in that particular area if you're affected by anything or any of the issues of that area, if you're holding on to any baggage, any trauma. Today's area that we're looking into or diving deeper into is the womb. Okay, when we could begin to start our work in Sacred Woman book, we understand that this is based in ancient Kemetic or cosmology, which is ancient Egyptian culture. And so the deities that are referenced are ancient gods and goddesses of ancient Kemet. Some of the terminology used in the book is directly from the meta netter or the word, the first word, the first written word. And this page, which is page 11 in your Sacred Woman text, breaks down some of the translations of who the particular gods and goddesses are, as well as some of the common terms that you'll see throughout the book, like Ankh, which symbolizes life, Mut, which is a mother or a nurturing figure, and Ter, which is all in one God, the mother, father, the creator, the creatress. Um, Hetepu, which is peace be unto you. Those are just a few of the words to name a few. So on page 11, you have that to refer to if there are terms that you don't understand. In the back of the book, there is also a glossary area in the back of the book. Um, and so in that glossary, I'm sorry, not glossary, an index. In that index, you can look up certain things that you may be dealing with, afflictions, pains, problems, traumas, and so on. You can look in that area and you can find that particular information. So, for instance, if you want to find out about oils to anoint or to bless someone, you can go ahead and look at anointing oils, and it'll tell you on what page you'll find out information about anointing oils in general. You can also deeper dive and look into particular oils. So, for instance, under anointing oils, it has such things as bergamot, cinnamon, eucalyptus, just to name a few. So, this is how you use this book effectively. You can decide to just look up something that's troubling you or something that you want to read more information to, and it gives you the page number, and that's located in the back of the book on page 455 is where it starts for the index. Okay. There's also another part of the book that I love to note because as you go through the gateways, you will be, hold on one second. As you go through the gateways, you will be given the names of ancestors, elders, and divine contemporaries of each gateway, and I'll explain what those are. The elders are just that, your elders, okay? Those are people that are older than you that worked in these particular areas of life, that also um, did this particular work or worked in this particular area or became known for this particular area. Just as such, the ancestors are those elders, are those people who have transitioned on to the ancestral realm, but also still worked in that area. And your divine contemporaries are your friends, those are people who are your peers who reflect this body of work. So in each subject that we go into, in each gateway or portal that we go into, um, you will have those people that will be mentioned. The great thing about the back of the book that talks about this, which starts on, this is our appendix that starts on page 435. It goes into a brief synopsis of that person. So if you don't know exactly who that is, I highly suggest in each gateway you refer back to page 235 or within that section of the appendix to look up information on these ancestors and these elders and divine contemporaries, because you may find that your spirit resonates with some of these women, and it'll be good to do further research and investigation on on the things that they did themselves. Okay. And I just had to catch us up on all of that before we dive into the book, because we're now going to go into Sacred Womb, which tells us that the ancestors of this gateway is Biddy Mason, Queen Mother Moore. Our elders is Iris O'Neill and Dr. Josephine English. And our divine contemporaries are Dr. Jewel Pookrum and Nokuluko Tenemba. Excuse me, I might have pronounced that incorrect. So this is Sacred Womb. Okay, and so in this particular area of Sacred Womb, we find that our altar should be set up in such a way where we have the pictures of our elders, our ancestors, our divine contemporaries, and a divine picture of ourselves on our altar. A few components that you want to have set up on your altar is going to be a baptismal bowl or a small bowl or cup, clear if our glass or crystal preferred for the cup. But you would have that baptismal bowl with water located at the center, or up towards the top center of um, your your altar or wherever is comfortable. You want to have a mayat feather. You want to have any oils or crystals. You would like to have your ankh, which is a symbol of life. Some people who are into other denominations, you may have another symbol that you'd like to represent, so you may place that there. You would have your flowers or a plant. You would have a candle. Um, you would also to represent the fire, and then you'd have your gemstones. Okay, in this gateway within Sacred Woman, this is the color of white and blue, to just symbolize like the midnight sky. Okay, where the stars are the white bright lights, and that midnight blue or that darker blue. Okay, in the book, it gives you setup and table instructions, so I won't go into that into depth. I just wanted to point out about the altar when we talk about divine contemporaries, your elders, your ancestors. If those that are in the book don't work for you, you can fill those in with the people that resonate with you as you learn the gateways. Okay. Now going into Gateway O, right? So let's dive into this. Gateway O is really focused on the health of your womb and building up communication within your womb space. A lot of time as women, we are not connected to our wombs as we should be, meaning we are not caring for our wombs properly. We find our wombs giving us signs and signals that something isn't right, yet we are ignoring them. Some of the ways that we know that our womb is suffering is by our menstrual cycle. Okay, that's one of the main reasons that this particular gateway is very important. Is we look at not only our menstrual cycle, but we look at our womb as a whole in the first time in a long time, and we reestablish that connection with our womb, triggering for you unlock a lot of things that you have hidden, locked away in your womb, which is causing you the disease and the discomfort. Okay. But as we know, once and as many societies say, when you call that thing out, you recognize what the problem is. Now you are in a position and better equipped to change and the narrative or to transmute that energy. Okay. So when you start to do the womb wellness walk, when you start to work in womb wellness, you want to work in a sacred circle. It is very important that you have a team, a community, a tribe, a circle of women surrounding you as you confront these gateways and as you go through these gateways, because some of the information is a little hard to digest and to swallow. Okay. So, as we continue into the book, it goes into depth about who Mother Nut is, and I will allow you to do your own independent research because researching outside of the time that I spend is going to be vitally important. It goes to things that you should do as far as meditation, and it tells you about the different aspects of the womb, okay? The care of the womb, the spirit of the womb, communicating with your womb, understanding the voice of your womb, okay? A lot of us have broken off communication of our womb based on past traumatic experiences, breakups, bad boyfriends, bad baby daddies, bad people in general that have violated our womb space or have violated our heart, which, as we know, our womb is connected not only to our heart, but our mental state as well. And so some of the things that we go that go on in our womb space are a reflection of the things that we are mentally holding on to and birthing, as well as the things that we are mentally holding on into our hearts. Okay. And because of this, some of us with damaged wombs will have heavy bleeding periods, uh, PMS, foul smell odor. We might have pain, discomfort in our wombs. And this is because of diet. So, one of the main things that this particular gateway focuses on is cleansing the womb and how to internally cleanse your womb, right? But before we cleanse our womb, we got to get to know our womb. See, this is the problem. A lot of us experience trauma early on where where others touched and came in contact with our womb without our womb's permission, and we shut down and we've shut that off. So to open up that line of communication, we need to get down there and investigate. We need to look around. We need to grab our mirror and we need to check out what's going on. We need to touch, we need to feel, and we need to really give that diligent time into figuring out what is it that our wombs are trying to communicate to us and how do our wombs communicate. The first way the womb communicates is by its smell. Okay, you looking down there to feel if it smells, uh, you know, like you want it to smell. You're feeling down there to see if there's any bumps, if there's any bruises, and you're just really getting in touch with understanding what is going on down there. Okay, and that is figuring out the spirit of the womb. Once you look at it, once you touch it, once you smell her, you will start to understand what the spirit of your womb and the stage that your womb is currently in. So now that you found that out, how do you care for your womb? Well, the first step in caring for your womb is understanding your moon cycle and understanding what's happening during your moon cycle. Okay. During your moon cycle, on pages 64 and 65, it gives you some pages, I think, I'm sorry, 64 through 66 in the second anniversary edition, and it might be somewhere close to that. Check about a few pages before, a few pages after. You should come, or you can check in the index of your book and look for the womb wellness profile page. Okay. The womb wellness profile page goes into complete details. It's like a chart. Okay. It goes into details, um, basically explaining um, different things about menstrual health. So, your menstrual flow, the number of days that it is. It'll ask you, do you experience cramps? or aches and pains in certain areas, basically asking you questions to determine what is the status of your womb. And this is so that you can record it. So as you're doing the cleansing work, the healing work, both mentally, physically, and emotionally, you're able to see how that is transforming your womb and what is happening within your womb. This is vitally important for us to do because we want to make sure that we are keeping up with what we're doing. And not only that, that what we're doing is actually working. Also, it's a level of accountability because if when I wasn't eating bad, my period went from 7 days to 3 days. And when I was eating clean, the 3 days it was a like light spotting and I wasn't even in pain. So these are ways that we understand that our womb is communicating with us and we pay close attention to. Okay. Once we do that womb wellness profile, we've started to do our womb care, right? Now we need to be managing what we're eating, what we're putting and ingesting into our bodies. Okay. On page 76 is a series of recipes that you can cook up that are womb recipes. They're recipes that help to battle certain things that your womb may be dealing with, and they help to fortify and strengthen your womb. Okay. One of the things that harm our womb or hurt our womb is our gut and our colon health because most people who experience, or most women who experience the smell from their space or any side effects from the womb space are experiencing are those pains and discomforts because their colon is pressing down on their uterus, perhaps causing their uterus, okay, to fall lower within the abdomen that it's supposed to be. Okay. One of the pages I want you to look at is page, and this would be page 84 and 85. 84 and 85 is a diagram of a woman, and it lets you know what things you eat feeds the tumors or the cysts and the heavy bleeding, and what foods you can eat to relieve those symptoms. Okay. So if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, any of those discharges, Gateway O is the gateway. Okay, it has everything from healing drinks, healing herbs, healing baths, healing oils, cleansing techniques, cleansing tonics, literally full on recipes, massages that you can do to your womb, exercises that you can do to your womb, as well as um, different cures for various elements. Okay. And I do say cures, use the word cures loosely, because as we know that we are the cure, we have the power to heal ourselves. And the first point of us healing ourselves is recognizing our own inner divinity to be able to do such. Okay. And so when you're taking care of your womb space and you are now in a position to start to heal your body. So hear me clear. This is gateway 0. It is the beginning gateway. It is the foundation gateway. It is the gateway you take through the entire process. Because as we focus on womb, okay, healing our womb, we are more in alignment to be able to heal our mentally, physically, heal others, heal our children, heal our family, and heal our community. But we first must take possession back of our womb. Okay. We must understand her. We must, told me 5 years to be celibate. That was hard. Okay. Because I was out here thotting and bopping and running around in these streets. And then my womb said, sit your ass down. And then there was a point where that I needed to listen because I was blocked. I was not able to do the things that I needed to do because I had lying with people who had energy was of succubus or incubus nature and was pulling from my life force because I was drastically destroying myself in the process. So my womb began to speak and began to tell me that it's time to sit your ass down. And thus, I set my ass down. And so I say that with a smile on my face today because it's time for some of y'all to listen to y'all wombs and sit y'all asses down. Pay attention to what you need to pay attention to so that you can bring yourself back in harmony and back in maya and back in alignment with where you are supposed to be, where you are supposed to go. And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes of us women who are nurturers by nature, when we start to lie down with frequencies lower than ours, it brings our frequency down. Okay, it ends up impeding on us being able to do what it is that we are meant to do. And so, the communication between our womb is vitally important. And there are many of us who, by no fault of our own, became detached from our womb and have had these womb issues because our womb has been violated. Well, now your womb is speaking to you, telling you it's time to deal with this. We're not finna bury this and we're not finna push this down. It's time for you to go through this, say what you need to say, do what you need to do, acknowledge that I was violated, acknowledge that something happened to me, acknowledge that I am here and I do remember and I am coming back for everything that was stolen from me, even if my womb was stolen from me. Okay. Now is the time for us to reconnect with our womb space so that we can own our inner divinity. Within this is a gateway of my heart. Okay. When I say this is a gateway of my heart, in the Sacred Woman program, we pick a gateway to ascend from. And I truly battled between ascending from this gateway and ascending from another, which is Sacred Beauty. And these two um, intertwine in such a beautiful way because they are interconnected to not only the generational curses and the generational trauma that we as women have endured just based on who we are um, and just based on being a woman, in a patriarchal society. Because our wombs are not fulfilling their purpose, they are not birthing that which the heart desires for us to birth. And so now is the time for us to step into that space, into that energy, and into that light. I thank you all for tuning into this live. If you heard anything on this live that you liked, please like, share, and subscribe to all of my sacred women rebirthing themselves out there in the universe. I thank you. Time 11:11 a.m.